Hello, today I'm going to make a brief video highlighting a few key points. And in previous video, I explained about how 2015 is pointing to the year of the rapture and the first call. But now it's like December already, but that was not the end of the story yet. And remember that the Jewish calendar, the timing of the Jewish calendar is our measure. And even though right now we're near the end of the year, however, according to the Jewish calendar, their new year starts on the time of the Gregorian April, and the Pentecost happened during the May this year. So therefore, in my perspective, I still see that 2015 will still be going on until the March next year, because the Jewish New Year only started on April. So even though this year will pass, but next year until March, before March, in my perspective, and according to the Jewish calendar, I could still see that as 2015. But so many people actually pointed that September this year was a very significant year, and truly that was a very significant month, September this year. And right now we're on to December of the Gregorian calendar, but while it is also Jewish September, and that's actually echoing back to the September of the Gregorian calendar this year, and therefore they're equal. And now we're actually back to September, and this month is a very significant month and definitely a high-watch season. And so previously I've explained about the free pie, and you can see the number 9 here is actually representing September. So September is a very significant time frame, and I wanted to go further into that. And so before explaining about Hanukkah, which right now is still the season Hanukkah, I wanted to get into the calendars of a year. And so, as I explained before, that there was a first new moon delay, and it was supposed to be during September this year, but it delayed until October this year, and that really made a very interesting misalignment of the calendars. And as explained before as well, that May the 24th was the Pentecost this year, and it was a very significant marker to Genesis 5:24. And so it was the fourth Sunday, so that as explained before, that is 7777. And so now we that's the calendar. This one is the Gregorian calendar, and this one is the delayed Gregorian calendar. And so it's pretty interesting, because I explained before that the number 1 equals to 7, because on September, the Jewish New Year starts on September, during that time. And so the Jewish New Year starting on Tisri, that was Jewish July, is also January. and therefore a 7 can be seen as 1. So now, because I get this knowledge of the numbers, we can quickly see that there's a so this is the original calendar of November, and that's a delayed Gregorian calendar. And so 11 is also 77, after, like, as explained before about the Jewish New Year. And so December equals to November now, because of the delay of the first new moon. And so because of that, now we can see that there's a set of, like, a pair of 11, so that's, we can see that as 4-7, so that's resembling the May 24 Pentecostal Connection. And so there's still, like, this is not the end of the story yet, because now we need to see the attachment of both 77 together. So that would only be true. So here I made Jewish calendar. So this the delayed top, like the upper part of the December calendar, and that's the bottom of the November one. So there's the only connection with the 11 would be true Chisvan Jewish August, and that will be true the upper like part of the calendar, which is December. And so that's pointing that within Chisvan, though, that's pointing that Chisvan is the attachment of the two, like the pair of two 11. So that's would connect 11 together because of Chisvan. And so so that's maybe hard to understand, but cause you know the month Chisvan runs to both November and December, and so that's the only relationship that November and December have, like, would be true that month. And so now we can see that Chisvan is Howard's month. And so now I just wanted to go back into November, like 2013, like back then. It was the time of the comet I saw, and it was on the 28th, and it was a Hanukkah, and that was a very significant time frame, because right now it's also Hanukkah, and it lasts and from December 6 to December 14, and so this December 6 to December 14 is like the Halloween season of the barley transformation. And why I am saying that, well, the Euless number that I previously explained, so I like this pretty interesting because it got like the 1828 twice, and 1828 actually is pointing to Psalm 18 verse 28. And so here it says, "For thou wilt light my candle, the Lord my God will enlighten my darkness." And this is actually pointing to Hanukkah, because that's the festival of lights. And that's so this verse not only like describing about the transformation of the bride of Christ, but also is pointing to the lighting of a candle, that exactly what the festival lights. So yeah, so that's the festival lights. So lighting the candle, and that's exactly echoing back to Euler's number. And so there's like a period of 1828 because there's a barley harvest and there's also a wheat harvest, and so I've seen that December, that's 1828, next year on January that's 1828 as well. So now we're back into this chart. I forgot to say that like next year in January, that will be like January, that's 1, and it will also be Jewish October. And Jewish October, if you see that as a clock, 10 o'clock is also 15 minutes direction, and also 22 o'clock. And now we can see the 122 and 722 connection resembling the pi, which I explained before, and 50, the number 50, as you may know, that's the Pentecostal number, and therefore next year in January would too be a Howard season. And so back in so I wanted to explain about the delayed calendar, because of the first new moon that was supposed to be in September, but it was changed to October. And so so the Hanukkah, it was like it's like 6 to 14. So the reason that I pointed until the 15, actually this echoing back to the Rosh Hashanah, September 13 to 15 timing, because December is also September, as I explained before. So right now, it's very interesting. Just it's pretty interesting to see that Hanukkah and Rosh Hashanah, like they go together. And so this explained before the 3 calendars: Jewish, Enoch, and Elijah. And I explained the purpose of using those calendars together, and the misalignment of the calendars would actually bring forth the boundary of 13 to 15 December, and I was basing on the last on the last date of Chizvan, because I explained before that Chizvan is very important to maintain the Pentecostal 7777 connection. And so because like on the same day of Chizvan 30 is also Kislev 2, and because of that Chizvan 30 equals to Kislev 2, and so there are like 3 days of Kislev 2, and there also can be seen as Chizvan 30. And so now we can see that on the 13th December to the 15th December would all be like linked to Chizvan. And so the 13th of December is also the time of Hanukkah. So because of that, that's extending until the 15th of December, even though the 14th of December is said to be the last day of Hanukkah. And so the significance of Rosh Hashanah, it's a new beginning, and so it's very obvious that the coming sexual events will be a new beginning, and also new beginning for the barley bride. Like the comment I saw was like linked to disaster, and that's actually still pointing that the time of Hanukkah will be the time of disaster, like within that period of time. And so the reason that the like a set of 1828, because I believe that there will be 2 times of Hanukkah. One time would be this month of December. Next Hanukkah, Howard season for the wheat bread, I believe will be next year on January Hanukkah. There are like 2 Hanukkahs because of the delayed first new moon, and that actually like brought the Kislev 25 onto January. And so that means that the rapture is pointing to next year January, and first call would be pointing to December this year. Like, even though I said like next year, but in the Jewish calendar perspective, I still see next year as 2015 until March next year. But anyway, I want to cut this short. I know there's so much to cover up, but these are the main things I wanted to share today. And today is already the 13th December, and it's not a lot of time left. So just want to get this uploaded quickly. Yeah.